When I began painting, I just did it for fun. But over the past 10 years, I've come to realize that this is a lot more than just paint. This is more than just the end result, creating a beautiful picture. And I want to share that with you. So in this workshop, we're going to talk about all the opportunities that are available to you through art. Let's get started. Okay, so what can art do for you? I said this is more than paint, and it definitely is. I've found that art can help you in at least 3 ways: creatively, emotionally, and possibly financially. So first of all, let's talk about the creative side of things. In the past, I'm a creative person, and because you're here, you probably are too. I used to really love to rearrange my furniture in my bedroom when I was a child. I liked to make crafts. I liked to do things that were creative in some way. But as you get older, there are only so many things that you can do. I mean, my body is not going to allow me to continue to rearrange furniture in my house for the rest of my life. But painting is something that you can do for a really long time. I mean, there are very few things that would limit you as a painter. So it's a creative outlet that you have that you could do for a really long time. And it allows me, and it can allow you to tangibly make something that you can see, that you can hold, that you can look at and appreciate. And there's really nothing else like it that I can think of. I know there are a lot of creative ways that you can express yourself through decorating or gardening or cooking. There are a lot of creative outlets out there. But there's really not anything that has helped me as much as just painting or drawing or creating something from nothing, because that's really what you're doing. You're taking a piece of paper or a canvas that is blank and then taking some sort of color, or it doesn't really have to be color even. It can just be something that you're using to manipulate to make something, which is so rewarding and so much fun. And it helps you to kind of go back to what it was like, if you remember what it was like to be a child and get your first or a new box of crayons, and how exciting that was, and how free you can be with just the creativeness of it, just making things that you want to make, that you like, that are pretty or meaningful. Or it doesn't even have to be pretty. It can just be something that you enjoy making, that makes you feel rewarded, and it kind of scratches that itch that you have to create something. So just the opportunity that you have to make something is rewarding and worthwhile, and something that you can do until the day that you die, unless there's something that keeps you from using your hands or your arms or whatever. But potentially it is something that is a lifelong hobby that you could have, that could be very rewarding. And if in no other way, it can give you that outlet that you need as a creative-minded person to make things. Because we all know that is when we're itching to do something, we need to create. And this is one way that you can do that, that is very helpful, very rewarding, very easy. It's portable. You could put it in a bag and take it with you. there's no limit to what you can do with paint or charcoal or just a pencil and a piece of paper. So it can be very rewarding for you creatively. And the fact that you can do it for a really, really long time is great. And I love that. But there's also been times in my life when painting has helped me emotionally. Just the process of creating is very therapeutic. I don't know if you've ever thought about it this way, but it can relieve stress. There are scientific studies that have been done to show how much art can help you mentally, emotionally. It has helped me a lot through a lot of tough times in my life. And also, it has given me an outlet to relax, to de-stress. So I don't know if you know my whole story or not, if you're new to me, but I began painting in the evenings when our kids were little. I was a homeschool, stay-at-home mom. I was teaching them all day. I was doing all of my normal motherly teacher things. And then in the evenings, I had a desk. I sat at my desk and I painted. And that was my de-stressing time, my relaxing time, my time for me. And it just helped me to have an outlet to do something that refreshed and regenerated and helped me to continue to do what I was doing in my everyday life and have this thing that I could look forward to that was just for me. So it really helped me to just de-stress, if that makes sense. It also painting helped me through the grief that I experienced when I suddenly lost my dad. It was something that I could do that took my mind off of everything that was going on around me. And when you are painting or drawing or creating, it's like your mind goes into a state of flow, some people call it, where you are just concentrating on that one thing and everything else just kind of melts away. And it's very, very helpful. It is a healthy, therapeutic way to deal with emotions. And I'm not the only one who has experienced this, because I know that several of my creative community members have told me, they've sent me emails or messages and told me these classes that I'm taking, being in this creative community environment has helped me through the loss of a spouse, or an illness in my family, or me moving to a new place and feeling isolated and alone. Art is powerful and helpful, and being in a community of people who are like-minded will help you. But just the act of doing it, the practice of painting, is emotionally therapeutic. Painting is so much more than just the end result, which would be a pretty picture or a portrait or whatever it is that you're creating. The process of doing it, I would argue, is even more rewarding than the end result. So there's also the financial opportunity that's here. So we've got just the creative outlet that you have, the emotional help that it gives you, and then sometimes, and most times, it can be financially rewarding. So this is the one thing that probably surprised me the most. I didn't go into this whole art thing with the idea that I wanted to have a business. And like I said, I just began painting for fun, just to relax. And it quickly turned into something that I could see was going to be profitable. But it also, financially, it helped me to see that what I'm doing is something that could be potentially a career. I'd never even thought about this before, but there are so many different ways that artists can make money, not just by selling their actual painting, but putting those ideas on products like cell phone cases or pillows, or licensing your work, teaching classes, just making YouTube videos that are really good can potentially make you money. Artwork in itself, the original painting that you create, is kind of just like the beginning. But there are so many other opportunities that can, stem, I guess that's the right word, it can stem from what you're creating and be financially amazing. I know a lot of artists who make a lot of money doing things that you would not think would make them a lot of money. And it is an opportunity that I want to make sure that you know is available to you. However, this hobby that I had in the past quickly turned into something that I could see was profitable monetarily, but it also became something that made me feel safe. And what I mean by that is I'd been a homeschooling, stay-at-home mom for years, and I knew that at some point that was going to end. I wasn't going to be teaching my kids anymore. They were going to be older, moving on, doing their own thing, eventually moving out. And I didn't know what was going to happen in the future. So I was thinking, okay, this is going to give me something that I can do when I'm not going to be teaching them anymore. I'm not going to be a stay-at-home mom anymore. So I can have an art business, and that will give me something to help me to get through this whole empty nest thing that's probably going to happen. And that was what my plan was. In my head, that's what I was thinking. However, little did I know that at this point in my life right now, not only do I have an art business, both of my kids are married now, but my art business is employing my children. I did not see that coming. I would have never dreamed that that would happen, but it has. And it's really hard to wrap my head around at this point because, number one, I did not go to college. I do not have a degree in art. I do not have a degree in business. But yet I am able to, and you are able to, use creative talents that God has given you to make something, to put it out into the world, to be able to profit from it financially, and from that, help other people in the process. So the financial opportunities for creative-minded people in this period of time is amazing. There's so much out there that you probably don't even know about. And art, or painting in particular, can help you creatively, from my experience, I know, creatively, emotionally, and financially. And in this workshop, I'm going to help you to get some foundational principles in line, just to lay that foundation that you need to get you started and get you going, and help you just, if for no other reason, I want you to go through these videos with the idea that you're going to just listen to these opportunities that are available to you and let them kind of sink in. If it's not something that you've thought about before, I hope that you will keep an open mind and take some notes and make sure that you are allowing these seeds of opportunity to germinate in your brain, because that is all that it takes. You just need to get the idea, to get started, to start doing something, to put some momentum into what you're doing. And that is what my hope is for you for this workshop. So we're going to begin with the basics of painting with acrylics, because that is what I do. Then we're going to move on to why do you need to find your own style, and how do you find inspiration. And our next video will be about finding ways to beat creative block, the mindset problems that you have, especially if you are coming from a perspective like mine, where you may not have an art degree, you may not know where to go, what to do, what not to do, and you start telling yourself things that are just not true. And so we've got to find a way to get past that. And so I hope that this workshop is going to be beneficial to you. I know that it will give you some new ideas and some information that you may not have thought about before. And so we're going to move on into the next video. There are multiple ways for you to access this workshop. You can watch it in our private Facebook group. You can watch it on my YouTube channel. You may also watch it from my website. However, the only way for you to take part in the Q&A time, which we're going to have 2 live videos with me talking and answering questions, that's going to happen inside the Facebook group that has been created just for this workshop. So if you're not in that group, you may want to go over and request to join, and then you can ask me all the questions that you may have about all the things that we've been talking about in this workshop.